If y'all see that go away, let me know. I even turned it around to where it was facing me, and I didn't pay attention to it. And at the end of class, it's black. All right, so Jamestown. Jamestown is the first permanent English settlement. First permanent. Y'all remember another one?
Oh, yeah, Plymouth. That was one.
No, okay, that was after this.
And
Rolling.
New York.
Sir Walter Raleigh had a colony that was established, I think, in the late 1500s, maybe the early 1600s, and they went back to find them, and they were gone.
Yeah, it was just.
They don't know what happened. Either everybody left, everybody got wiped out, but they were all gone. So this one is the first one that lasted. It was in Virginia. The Puritans, the Pilgrims, went to Plymouth, which is Massachusetts. That was the Mayflower. Virginia and Massachusetts are the big colonies. Big in terms of size, big in terms of population, and big in terms of importance. Those are the two big deals in America. Virginia was first, Jamestown. Massachusetts was second, with Plymouth Rock. You know about the sharks they're having in Massachusetts? They think because of, I don't know if it's all just temperature, but like the seals and the ocean currents and the temperatures are changing, and so there's more sharks in Massachusetts. They have more shark attacks and more sharks there.
That's weird.
That's the fourth S that I don't like about beaches: sand, salt, sun, sharks. Which for the most part, they don't mess with us.
I hate you.
But if they ever do, I'm not a fan of it. Little Titan caught one this summer.
Oh yeah.
Caught a
I saw
shark.
that.
Yeah, I just caught one.
He caught the bait. The guy threw it out there, and then he let him turn it twice. So he did caught a shark. Didn't get rid of it.
I tell you to punch a shark, but I don't think I'm brave enough to stay
No.
there and just whack it in the nose. I don't think I'm.
Oh,
My luck, he would swallow my arm as I'm trying to hit his nose.
Okay, the early settlers that came from England. There's two big ideas that founded our government that they brought with them. Can you guess what those two things are? What? Limited government. Limited government. That's the big deal. That's the big one. Limited government.
Is
And
this
I'm gonna
one
come.
two?
What's that?
1, 2.
Yes, these are the two ideas. Here's the first one, limited government. And I'm gonna combine something we did yesterday with this. The thing that limits the government is the rule of law. The Magna Carta limited the king. In America, the Constitution limits the government. So those two go together. The second one, representative government, a republic. Now, limited government and representative government. And that's what our system is based on. Titan has a birthday coming up in October. He's going to be 6. How many years, what year is this for his life? Right now, before his birthday, what year is this?
7.
This is his 6th year.
I'm
0 to 1, when he was 0, that's his first year. First year, 1 year old, that's his second year. So the 11th century, what are we talking about? Thousands. It's the 21st century, but it's the 2000s. So you're talking about the thousands. A group of nobles. What's a noble?
Isn't that like a, something for the king,
King's family, upper class.
yeah.
The rich people, the upper class. Group of nobles and clergy. What's a clergy?
A group of family, right?
You heard of a clergyman?
No.
A preacher.
Oh.
Okay? Back then, who were all the preachers?
There is-
What
oh.
church?
Oh, the Church of England, I mean the Baptist.
Catholic.
Catholic.
Alright? These were the only educated people in the world. In the Western world. They could read and write. Not many people could read and write. So you went to seminary or to the monastery to learn how to read and write. That was the first universities. So they were upper class because they could read and write. So a group of nobles and clergy got together to meet and to try to influence the king. What do you think this group turned into?
Republic. Oh, Parliament.
Parliament. That's when Parliament started. Started as a group meeting together. They gained influence when the Magna Carta got signed, and then it went from there. Parliament has two parts to it. The House of Lords. That was the group of nobles and clergy, the upper class people. That was the first part. Later on, the House of Commons. And this is the actual elected body from the common people. So it's bicameral. Bicameral means two houses. We have the House and the Senate. In England, they have the House of Lords and the House of Commons.
Doesn't the legislative, executive, and judicial all have different branches or different things that different people do?
Yes.
And that.
In England, this is remember the unitary. This is the government. That's the Supreme Court. This is the legislative. The executive comes from me. So that's the bicameral legislature in England. All right, 12:15. That's from yesterday. What's the big deal about 12:15?
Oh,
Magna
Magna
Carta. Magna Carta was signed by King John, and what was the big deal about that?
First time the king gave up power.
And the people gained rights. First time that the king gave up power that I know of. Maybe somewhere in Persia or India it's happened, I don't know. And first time people gained rights. Let's see a fun little deal in honor of Daytona.
We still need to draw the trash can.
I was starting Indian.
Family Indian guy.
Yeah.
Good little.
How many years have we ever played? Have we ever played together?
Yeah, we still on top of it. We haven't since Coach Pine was in.
Oh man.
Oh,
No, around that time. We used to play them every year, and early on they beat us a couple times, and then we beat them. Hayes and Woolsey, his dad, he kicked extra points. And he might make them, he might not. We had about a 5-yard, 15-yard field goal. 4th and 5. He lines up. No,
Oh really?
he made it. We beat Oconee. Here's the goal post. He kicks it, goes, and it goes. Just went right. Yeah, we were the greatest kicker in the history of Paradise, Texas. We beat Oconee.
I know, of course, the carpenter's running in the first month.
All right, we good here?
People get-
What was the two things that we got out of the Magna Carta?
Powers.
Okay,
A limited government.
Limited government is the big one. And what limits the government? Rule of law. The king had to answer to it. The peasant had to answer to it. That document was over everybody. In America, the Constitution supposedly is over everybody. Nancy Pelosi, Donald Trump, Seth Wilbur, everybody.
I'm guessing that limited government rule of law is very important. We've written that 3 times.
Yes. This is it. That's the big deal. That's what the revolution was about. That's what the Magna Carta was all about. That's what all this stuff is all about. It's about limiting government. We gotta have government. But we have to limit the power of it because
It gets too strong.
you know, like radiation.
Yeah.
Radiation, if used right, can get an X-ray, can help cancer people. It can also kill us. You have to control it, just like government. You gotta control it. All right, the English Petition of Rights. Remember the first thing that we said was the big deal. The king had to ask who?
Is this on 7 or 6?
Had to ask the people.
What's the question?
Parliament.
Hey, we're on 7.
Had to
Yeah,
ask the people.
which Parliament represents the people to raise taxes. The people gave the people a say-so in the way they were taxed and how much they were taxed. Are taxes evil? No. They pay for roads, they pay for police, they pay for fire. But if you overtax and waste the money, that's a problem. Which they do. They overtax and they waste the money.
Is this going under,
This is the Petition of Rights.
they go on bullet point 8?
7, 8, yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah. No quartering troops. English citizens were not, it was not allowable to force troops into people's homes. Couldn't do that. No jail
Without a trial.
without a trial. Is jail a good place?
No.
No. But American jail is different from Iranian jail, which is in North Korean jail, and Communist Chinese jail, and 1200 AD jail. That was horrific places to be. Wise County jail is probably as good as it's going to get. It's probably relatively clean, probably get something to eat, probably won't get shivved. I mean,
Probably.
I would still cry and crap my pants and stuff, you know, if I ever got stuff there. But no jail without a trial, and no martial law can. Yes. No. We all.
Martial.
Okay, that's right. Martial law, unless what? Emergency, war.
It's not martial like martial arts.
Yeah, it is. It's martial.
Oh,
That kind
okay.
of martial. It's not martial like Marshall Dillon.
Oh, okay.
Emergency.
Fisher said him and Turner are gonna watch We Are Marshall tonight, so.
Good show. It really is.
It is.
First, it really is. I don't like sports movies, but most sports movies are kind of dumb. That's really good. It's
I like Coach Carter, the basketball one.
I've seen it once. And
Remember Titans?
Titans good.
What?
Coach Cook said Coach Boone is a jerk.
What about,
The other one, Coach Yost.
yeah.
Yost! Don't take out my son!
What's the one movie I was thinking, I watched the other day?
You didn't watch one?
No, not the other day, not the other day. I don't remember, it was a good one. It was with Adam Sandler.
Oh, what? I haven't seen it.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
The English Bill of Rights.
Oh, that wasn't.
This one said, this expanded on the last one. The king had to go through what? What?
Enter Parliament.
Parliament.
Or the people.
For most stuff.
Yeah. So basically, whenever, okay, this isn't what we have here, right?
It's getting close.
Okay, because if someone wants something, then they have to basically ask what
Congress.
people want.
The president can't do
No,
anything.
the president can't ask.
The
but-
president has to go through Congress.
Uh-huh.
And Congress has to have the president sign it. They have to work together. But this kind of, it was almost like that, where the king is now really limited, and the people have a big say-so. in-
Yeah, which
Also.
isn't good.
Hmm?
But, I mean, it is
Well-
good, but it's not good. Because,
Yeah. not
you know,
for the king.
half and half, like, it's always gonna be bad.
Yes.
It's always gonna be half and half.
Right.
So,
Bless you.
like, but it's gonna be bad either way if we don't have a limited government or if we do have a limited government.
People have to be mature and responsible,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not.
No.
Also, it talked about cruel and unusual punishment. Forget the debate about whether the death penalty is good or bad. If you're accused of murdering 5 people, does the death penalty match up with that crime?
No. Well, I mean,
It's on the same level.
yes.
If
Okay.
they can murder you 5
So I'm not
times.
saying good or bad, right or wrong.
Can't murder you.
Yeah,
At
they can
least-
murder you 5 times, but.
Okay?
It,
If you steal a car, does the death penalty match up with that crime?
no.
Any punishment you could argue is cruel and unusual. But this is just saying you can't cut the guy's head off because he said the king's ugly. The crime and that's what we have here. The crime and the punishment has to at least match up. And it said the
Gets to call
king
him ugly.
could not interfere with elections or meetings. We mentioned this yesterday. King didn't like somebody running for office, couldn't just have him thrown in jail. You can't get to interfere in that. You could probably vote in it, but you can't interfere in it. And you can't disband parliament or legislative bodies. That's what happened in England. All right, we're almost done. I will show you a picture of the Mayflower Compact. Where was the Mayflower Compact written?
Where was it?
America.
In
Not
England.
America. On the Mayflower. Yes, on the boat. If we go on a field trip,
Mayflower.
do I need to spell out how things are going to go before we leave the bus or after we leave the bus?
Before we leave.
Before we leave the bus, there's not chaos. They said they realized that before we leave this boat, we got to spell some things out to make sure things are okay. Here is a picture of the Mayflower Compact.
Where is the Mayflower at?
They have a replica at Plymouth where the settlement was, where they
The original ones.
The real one, I don't know what happened. I'm sure they probably tore it up to build stuff or something, you know. But this Mayflower Compact is short, and it basically kind of said we'll vote on stuff and we'll discuss stuff before we do things. It's not a big deal, but it's important because it was the first established English government in America. First time that a written, established government was done in America. It's called a compact because it's little. Compact card. Bunch of fancy English writing.
First established English
Yeah,
government?
yes. I'm sure some of the Indian tribes had established some sort of government, but this was the first English.
The Indians are like, you kill buffalo. We eat. That's all they did.
Wow.
In whatever language they spoke.
I don't think they spoke like that.
Come
All
on.
right, you got the 13 colonies. That's still working.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't believe it. We made it. We did it. Woohoo!
It's not working now.
No.
All right. All of the 13 colonies were established by a royal charter.
Royal Charter.
I hate that song.
You know what's great? If I was aluminum foil,
Foil.
Weird Al. You
It
ever
was
seen that?
established by
Never seen that.
I'll show you. Royal charter.
It'll show it to us.
All the land, all the territory in America was England's, which means it was the king's. And so you went to the king or went through the king's people and said, I want to establish a colony. Here's my plan. Here's the reasons. Here's what we're going to do. And the king would go, good job. Or, you're not doing it.
Royal.
Royal charter.
Song sucks.
What is the purpose of a colony? Why do they exist?
For peace. I don't know, something like that. It's,
Okay, it's economics. It comes down to economics.
so
Good job.
So everything could work out.
The colony exists to benefit the mother country. America had a bunch of something that that England had run out of. There was forests all over the place.
Land.
And gold.
They needed trees. They needed wood. Because everything was made out of wood. England was pretty much out of wood. Because England's little bitty tiny. They chopped all the trees down. America had resources. So you go out and establish colonies so you can get the stuff they have, the resources they have. It also establishes markets. It's another place to sell your stuff. So if you have colonies in North America, now you can ship your stuff over there and sell your stuff to North America. So it expands your economy by selling stuff, and it helps your economy by you acquiring resources. Eventually crops, cotton, tobacco, and wood. And last, 4. The idea of the Republic. Where did Julius Caesar get stabbed?
In the heart.
Like where at? What? Steps of the Senate. So where did the Republic start?
And the steps.
In Rome.
Oh, just Rome.
Because the Senate,
Yeah.
the Senate was the elected representatives of the people. Greece really is where they got democracy, where the people rule stuff. Rome created the idea of representative government. Are we done for the day?
We just watched aluminum foil.
Aluminum foil.